Hello, today we bring Davide Sotze, head coach of League of Legends for Esports Hammond, their team from Slovenia. And I've been talking now with Davide before this interview, and he's going to add very good value, and I hope you enjoyed. Davide, thank you so much for being here and investing your time in this interview and to add value to the community.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so just as a starters, like very basic, like how did you start in the video games? Like, what was the first video game you discovered and played?
Actually, if you talk about a video game that I discovered, it's probably League of Legends. I've been briefly playing some other video games when I was young because I had some bit of health issues, and I've been like home hospital restrained for like a year around. And then I bought a PS3 and I played some Assassin's Creed and some other games that were popular back then, but I've never actually finished the game. Like I was at home all day, no school, nothing, and I played for maybe like 50 hours of the games that I was playing. So like I was not really interested. Like my whole yacht was not being interested at all with any video games. Like most of my yacht I've spent studying computer science. Like I was studying like how to program like multiple languages and drawing actually. Like I was drawing a lot, and that was about it. Then when I was around 19, so like I just finished high school, I got into League of Legends and I got very interested into it. But even though like I was quite good compared to most of the people in very fast time, I realized that the career in a player was kind of too late, because like I started 19, when I reached a decent level, it was like when I was around 20, like I was already master, so like top of the ladder. But I mean, like I was 20, so my choice was like try to go full time in League of Legends, play 12 hours a day, and try to get pro like in a couple of years, or continue university and trying to do something else with my life. Because like obviously it was a big like flip, like it could have been really good, could have been really bad, and I was not like in a position where I was happy with flipping these things. So I just decided that I will take like the safe way. So I kept going at university. I got the first degree in graphic design, and I just like coached on the side. Then like got another degree in marketing and some like project management stuff, like project management and human resource, like master degrees, which helped me with the coaching. Like I was doing coaching, and meanwhile I was forming myself as both a coach and both like as a businessman in the future if I didn't feel like continuing with the career. So that was like my journey, but like really like the first game was just League of Legends. I was not really into it before.
Very good, very good. And due to your passion to computer science, you never decided to take it further, or you always developed your skills aside from the degrees you studied?
No, actually, like kind of dropped the computer science because I realized that I mean, I like computer, but I didn't really like programming that much. Like I liked it because I mean, like when I say like, probably it's kind of different from different person, because like I spent probably like 10 years working like 10 hours a day over like programming various app, robots, AI. But then like I felt like I mean, that's not what I want to do with my life. And that's happened with graphic design as well, to be fair, because like I've studied, I got degree, and then I felt like, yeah, but I'm never going to be like a graphic designer. Like, I don't feel like it. So I just started marketing and management course.
Nice, nice. And also, like when you were like in uni, like, and you were a player, but you discovered, or you thought that it was too late. Well, thought it was a bit too late when you got that rich. How was your transition, like, or what made you be like from a player to a coach? And was it hard at first? Years ago, how was the transition?
I mean, I started now like 5, 6 years ago, which
Okay.
means that coaching, I do define coaching very underdeveloped even right now. But 5 years ago, it was a joke. Like, no coach knew what he was doing, and there was no study and theories about the game at all. So, what like drove me, it was the fact that I'm a very logical person, which means that I do take everything step by steps, and just like that thought process and that a way to study whatever I do, it helped me like going very fast in the coaching ladder, in the sense that I discovered very fast things that people could not think at the moment, and also like had a very analytical mind towards like what was drafting, because I've been playing board games for a while. Like I played a lot of Go, which is a Chinese game, which it's very similar to what drafting in League of Legends is. It is like a tactical strategy game, which drafting in League of Legends is and things. It is like playing chess. You just move your pieces around and you get the best out of it. You just need to predict what the opponents will do. Which is what drove my career for a while. But then, as I said, I started doing like research and study over human resource management, project management, to be able to fulfill what I felt it was the main lacking point in my coaching style and skill set, which was like trying to get a plan for the team from the start to finish. Like I had a plan when I joined Nuriki, and then like now Esports Diamond. I had a plan from the start and a plan for every step. What time would it need? How we would progress in every single step, and that's something that I feel a few coaches does, because most of the people that got into coaching doesn't do it with like some academic research. Like they just got into it because they are gamers, they like the game, maybe they are not good at playing, or maybe like just like teaching others, but they don't never studied how to teach others and how like the world learned how to progress in that side. Because like what I feel like it is coaching in esports is very undeveloped, but it is a very developed things in other matters and stages of the ball community. So I just take what like others learned and failed upon in other matters, and I apply it in League of Legends to be able to get it on top.
Yeah, because I feel like not a lot of coaches have your point of view and talk about like the lacks of coaching. They talk more about like how they select the right players, and stuff, and then they kind of let them, if you select the right players, then like the 5 different personalities, you will have like a good team. But like, do you like? I also wanted to know, how do you select the players, and do you think that the player selection is the key, and then the coaching? Well, first let's get into how do you select the players in
There is
your team?
two main key points which
Yes.
are important for me to selecting the players. First one, it is I am very I want my role to be meaningful, which means that I only select players that wants to learn. If a player is not able to learn, is not willing to learn, is not willing to change, to get challenged, to like approach the team as a learning experience, it's probably not gonna work with me. Like I'm not gonna hire anyone that doesn't want to hard work to get better. So this is the first step. The second steps, it is something that I'm starting to realize the more I develop as a coach. It is that I have a coaching style, which means that there is things that I'm good at, at coaching in terms of like League of Legends strategy, and I do tend to want to have those players around me, because I might able to coach other styles. That's obviously a possibility, but I have a developed style in this way, like in this way to play, which means that I'm gonna be much better teaching that, and I'd rather teach that and keep developing my style and helping them to get the best they can than like trying to start from scratch in another way. So like I just want to keep in the line on what I do play. Then the rest I think is not that meaningful, because if they want to learn, they can learn. Like I just want players that are able to learn, and I'm confident that I will be able to teach them.
Nice. Well, and I guess before you also interview them, you do your research about how they did in past teams and talk to the coaches.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
like also like from what I'm sensing, you're a very, as you said, logical person. But the emotional side, is it something you also handle, or you have your assistant coaches handling it? Like, how do you handle the emotional side of players when they are very saturated, or when they're not in their having their peak? When they're a bit like this, how do you maintain them? Try to maintain them in this
we
line.
do have a psychological support in Esports
Okay.
Diamond. There is a psychologist called Nusha, which helps us with that. I tend to have a very academic approach to my teams, which means that usually there is less of this like up and down, because we do go by steps. And if you follow the steps, it is rare that something will go wrong on the emotional side, because you're just following the step. If you did a mistake, it is because you didn't follow them, and you just repeat until you make it right. I do feel like the emotional side comes when there is no structure to support the way that you play. When like you play by feeling, and they're like, oh yeah, something went wrong, I don't know why. Like if you know why that went wrong, it's never gonna go on the emotional side too much. If anything, everything it is like very well structured, like should not happen. Like not much happened in my teams, and we were always be able to keep track of everything. Obviously, like I studied like human resource management, so I use like classic techniques to like keep everyone happy, motivated, and I push towards their motivation. Like there is multiple players that are motivated by different things, and just try to push like what it motivates them, basically.
That's a great answer, man. And also, like those steps that you're talking about, how did you come up with them? Do you use referencing from other coaches, or by trial and error? Do you also modify them? How often?
Yeah, I do everything. Like I do steal from others if I can steal from others. I do just study, like, and do trial and error. Like I take like the situation, put in front of me, and start to think like, how does this make sense? How can this get like broke down from top to down in the small segments that it's easy to teach, easy to learn, and replicable in multiple games. And then like I try with the team, we got feedback, is this working, like how we can like apply and modify to make it better, and I keep developing my system, like and trying to fill all the zones that are not developed till that moment. Yeah, I mean, still a long journey ahead, but I'm like pretty satisfied with the level that I'm right now.
Okay, nice. And also, like in the individual and team aspect, like how do you work with players individually and then as a team? Like, what is the training schedule in that
We usually have 4 to 6 games a day. Whereas like we start 14, 15 in the afternoon, and we do play either 3 games with a break. Like we play 3 games, then we get 1 hour break, and we play 3 other games. Like so we get break 18, 19, we start again, 3 other games. And other we do like a single block, whereas we play like 3 games from 14, 15. We get like a smaller break, like half an hour, and then we play the last 2 games. And after each games we do have a segment of like 10 minutes aroundish, whereas we talk about the goals that we set beforehand for the day. Like when we come up with the screen game, we usually come like 15, 30 minutes before the game starts, and we talk about what I want to work on that day, what we need to work on, and then like we follow that goal towards the whole day of review. Then if needed, I could get segments of games of important stuff that happened that I could not talk in the 10-15 minutes, and we organize reviews either later on, the day after, in the morning, whatever it is. And then individually, as you can imagine with this schedule, there is not much of a time frame that you can work on, but I do tend to have at least one session a day with the players during the morning, with one player, obviously, since it's individual. But obviously that's not something that every day is able to accomplish, because I need to do other stuff to organize other work for the team, since as I mentioned, like we are a team of two working in the coaching staff, which means that a lot of stuff needs to be handled by two people, and I'm the only full-time one, which means that in the morning I usually take the time to organize the team. Obviously, I am able to do most of the time like at least one session with the players, and then like I go over them individually on the things that we need to develop. Every player have most of the time individual goals that they're working towards, so that they keep interested and motivated them throughout their journey for what they are trying to work on, basically.
Nice. Very good. Also, like in your routine, in your daily schedule, let's call it invisible training. Do you like you mentioned you have a psychologist? Also, do you advise players in nutrition or any physical activity that might improve the performance when playing? Do you work on this?
Yeah, I mean, I try to help them. Obviously, since we are afar, it's not easy. Like being in the same place, I am able to help them way more. But I try to like give them advices on how the use of caffeine and the way that they do it, and the way they do it in between matches, and the time they eat, and the time they go sleep, and the way that they behave themselves. I'm a huge believer of not waking up early, actually, because the way that esport players works, as I said, we start working from 14, 15, and we do work up to like 10 around. And they might even play after that. It means that if they wake up too early, they will be most of the time tired during the scrim. And that's something that it's not good. Like there is no reason for the esport routine to come as normal routine. Like there is no reason to wake up at 8, 9. If you do, like you can do it if you feel like doing it, but I'm a huge believer that you should not wake up before 10, 11, because otherwise you will feel tired when the game starts. Because unluckily, we don't have like a time frame, whereas like you can sleep before that. I mean, you might like try to wake up like 6, work like in the morning, then like go sleep and eat at 12, go sleep, and then wake up for the training. But it's very sketchy, like the way that the routine will look like. So I try to like advise against it.
Yeah, the key here is to like get a routine, and wake up and go to sleep at the same time, if possible, and getting your hours of sleep. Waking up at 6 a.m. or 11 a.m. Like the key is to get your hours and do a routine so your body is like on point, So
as I said, like I do wake up every day around 10. Around 10 I'm awake, and I usually start working around 11:30, and then I work till got lunch, and then I go to scrim.
Yeah, also like if you're competing or training for those many hours, like going to sleep afterwards, up to like the screen time and like how your brain is working, and like you cannot go to sleep straight away, and if you do, you're not going to have a good night's sleep, and then you're gonna wake up tired.
Absolutely.
I agree with you 100%. Yeah. Also, there may be many challenges, but for you, what do you think is the biggest challenge as a League of Legends head coach right now?
As I said, if I want to call a challenge, it is the fact that training sucks. the current ecosystem of League of Legends doesn't allow you to get efficient training. You need, as I said, like we do train 5-6 hours a day, and on these 6 hours, there is some days that you might have like 20 minutes of actual training, because what is training? Like in every single skill set in the world, training, it is a repetition of the same action to be able to get the action done good. Like you are a chef, you repeat it like cut on the cutting board, you keep repeating like the cut until you make it good. On if you are an athlete, you keep like running if you need to run, you keep scoring goals if you need to score goals, and you just do that for like 1 hour, and you probably have like 50 minutes of actual training. In League of Legends, you need to play a match, but maybe you're just working on your transition on mid game. And maybe that game is not gonna even happen, that transition, because you are either 20k ahead or 20k behind, and then like you have 1 hour of scrim, whereas you have fulfilled nothing, like nothing in the whole hour. And like in 6 hours, you maybe fulfilled the 20 minutes, which is a huge waste of time, and it is quite boring, to be honest, and very very few. Like it is. It just gets this feeling, whereas like you are wasting time to get so little result compared of the effort that you are applying to it, which is not good at all.
Yeah, of course. And this, is it you apply it or you learned it from other coaches, from experience?
I mean, I think this is the fastest things that I discovered going into coaching, because as soon as I started, I started thinking what others do, like what did I do when I needed to learn other stuff, like and everything that I learned, it was like, I need to learn these things, so I'm just gonna do these things until I do it right. Like when I learned math, I just kept doing problems. When I learned how to write, I kept writing letters. When I learned how to draw, I kept like drawing stuff, and I repeated it until like it was on a level that I was satisfied with. And in League of Legends, I couldn't. Like I couldn't repeat the same situation. And I mean, I really hope Riot Games fix that in the future. We really need a training tool.
Yeah. There's many, but
No, I mean, for League of Legends, there aren't. Like, there is a training tool which is not against other people, and it is only 1v1. Like, you can train alone versus bots. That's the best you have as a training tool, which is completely useless on a team game. You need to repeat actions. You need to be able to recreate situations. That's how you're gonna learn. And right now we don't have it. Like, what we can do, like we can like train how to click on the screen, but League of Legends is not about clicking. Like most of the players have good mechanical skills already because they played for years. But League of Legends is a team game, is a strategic tactic game, and you need to repeat that strategy and tactics in situations. And until you're gonna be able to, you're not gonna be able to do that. You're gonna be so far behind, and that's the reason why Asia is so strong in League of Legends, because Asian people are, as a culture, are used to like this long, exhausting training schedule. Like they go there. I said that we scream like for 6 hours a day. Like maybe top teams in Italy, in Europe, screams for 8, but Asian teams scream for 12. But no team in Europe, culturally, is going to be able to sustain that 12 hours of screams every day. No team is willing to do that. No person in Europe is willing to do that. And until we get efficient training, Asia will always be ahead of us.
Would you consider in a future going there to coach?
I don't think so. I don't think I fit in the culture. I am towards efficiency, not. I'm like on the school of work smart, not hard. Like, I want to be able to refine my style and my coaching skills so that we don't need to work for 5 hours to get the same result that we could do in one. And then we could do 5 hours, like 5 hours of good work. It means that I've already beaten them. But if I can't because I don't have the tools, feels bad.
Yeah. Also, the coaching tools that are going to be developed in the following years with IA, with artificial intelligence, I think it can make the difference. You know, like
absolutely. But all of these needs a tool from the red games. Like there is nothing we can do. We cannot recreate the game by ourselves. Like they need to warp the game to give us the tools. The tools are actually there. Like they just need to change a couple of, I mean, not a couple of lines, obviously, like a couple of thousands of lines of code to make them work, but they can. Like Chronoback exists and training tool exists. They just need to open the data as a 5v5 and create a chrono breaks to be able to be loaded in the training tool. It's as a program person, it is crazy that we are 13 years in League of Legends and there is nothing like that for professional gamers. It's just crazy.
Mm-hmm. And going now, like we talked about, like like coaching stuff, like going now a bit to you. So with your routine and daily work and stuff, this is more for I want your personal opinions, so other coaches can feel related and learn from you. Like, how do you manage having a personal life and your coaching career? Like, I know it depends. Within the year, there's more times that is like full on, and more times when there's like more time to rest and to dedicate more one to the other. But like, how do you make the balance, the daily or the monthly balance in that?
I mean, I think the first things it is like, especially if you are not single. So if you have a partner, it is important that your partner understand that your career is not like a 9 to 18 worker. Like you are not a 9 to 18 worker. Like you need to put extra work and some of your life is not gonna be as balanced as others. Like you will work on weekends. Like you might have max 1 day of free day during the week, and you might have periods where you cannot get like good holidays. Like especially if you go deep into playoffs, you master or like if you're higher level, like you go into worlds, MSI, like you're probably not gonna have like a normal holiday routine. Like last year, I scheduled my holidays for the summer 1 week ahead because I dropped out from playoff and I was free, but I didn't know that 1 week before. So that's something that your partners needs to accept and needs to be push you to it and support you. Otherwise, it's gonna be hard. For me, my balance came to the fact that I just get my night off, which means that, as I said, I don't wake up early, and luckily my partner doesn't need to as well. So I just usually like stay with my partner since like dinner to like 2-3 a.m. and we just have our time there. I usually play a lot of board games because I like them and helps me with my tactical and analytical skills. But I could do other stuff like, I don't know, other couple just watch movies, go out, like that's about like your life. But personally, like that's my time off. The rest of the day I am fully booked and I do work all day. Like as I said, I will wake up like around 9:30, 10, and I work from 11 to lunch, then screams till night. What I discovered during the last year, and it was another coach actually talking me about that, and thank him a lot for that. It is that you can work a lot for your team, and you can help a lot your team, and you can work 12 hours a day for your team, but that's gonna hurt you in the long run. because you working 6-8 hours for your team compared to you working 12 hours for your team, it means that your team is going to progress 5% faster. And that 5% is not worth your own personal career. So what I discovered and what I'm doing right now, it is that I do work a lot on myself. Like I spend like 6 to 8 hour day on my team, and then the next 6 hours that I work, it is on me. Like it is on me studying the game, is on me getting better at it, and this is gonna benefit the team because like I'm gonna be better at my job, but I'm not working for them. I'm working for me to get better. And this is very important because at the end, like as soon as my contract expire, I might not be on the team anymore. And doesn't matter if they were 5% better. I needed to be better. And this is like, it was like actually an insane advice that is helping me a lot. And I thank a lot the guy that gave me that, which is actually a famous coach. It's called Vega V2. It is the strategic coach of Cloud9 in NA.
Nice. No, that's great. Also, like working for you, you can also add more value to the players.
Yes.
In the teams you work to, for yourself. You know, like you don't get saturated. It makes you develop faster as a human being, and hence add value more as a coach. So great. Also, like your parents. Are there gamers, or when you started to explain to them what you were doing, then that you could live off this, how was their support?
I mean, in the start, it was not nicely took from them. Like they were kind of against the idea of it. But I kept going to university. I had excellent grades, which means that I was working and doing university full time. It was kind of a stressful period. I would probably sleep maximum 4 hours a day for like around 3 years. Which means that I was not too well off, but that was the deal between us. Like I would kept doing a university, and I was doing my work on the side. Then I decided to go more in depth into it, but like at the same time, I realized that I wanted to study more. So like that was my decision. I kept studying and I kept working. But on a more moderate paces. Like the university course was way easier. Like marketing, it was way easier than it was graphic design. On time consuming, like I would say, like probably marketing is harder because I was studying neuromarketing, but graphic design, it is a very time consuming subject, which it was the reason why I couldn't fulfill my esports career as a player. Because on graphic design, doesn't matter how good you are, but you still need to put a tons of hours into working for the projects. It's not difficult subject, like it's not like I need to study tons of stuff, but I need to do projects, and project needs needs time. Like you just need to draw for 10 hours, and then like you cannot play for 10 hours. Like there is no way around it. So I just couldn't help in that course. But then when I switched to marketing, it was much easier. And I kept going my career. I dropped down in division. Like I realized that it was better for me to work on lower division. I worked for 2 years on second division because I just felt like it was easier for me. I could develop myself as a coach. I was not taking it like in a fast way. I could have gone to better teams, but obviously on better teams, I would have burned my bridges, you know, like I could not put the hours that a better team needed. Meanwhile, with my skill set on a second division, I was fine. Like I was probably one of the top coaches, regardless of me putting a few hours into it compared to others. And I just kept developing myself as a person and doing coaching on the side. And then like in the end, I went to like the full career. But I mean, yeah, my parents were not supporting in the start, but now like it's. I studied a lot, and they understood that this is a actual career path. So they just like they don't support me actively, but they are not against it. You know,
it's your passion. You're making money.
Yeah,
you have your university degrees, which that is what they care about. Like if something happens, he has something to fall in.
Yeah,
so,
certainly.
it's all good. Nice, nice. I'd also like to wrap this interview up. Like, who do you say is like your reference as a coach? The person that you would like to work with, or that the person that really like it influenced you in part of who you are today as a coach?
I would say it's hard because you can never know what's the work on the inside as a coach. Like you never know like how the coach applies his skill set to a team. I would say there was a person that I was really interested and inspired of his style, which is Vietnamese, I think, coach, which worked in NA and EU, called Jensengo. I'm not sure if it is Vietnamese, to be honest, but it is like around that area. And is a very logical and analytical coach, which developed a lot of steps, and I took a lot of inspiration from his work. Obviously, there is multiple parts that I don't like, but I do think like the way that he studied the game, it is really really good, which makes it like a very interesting like person to learn from. But I won't say like there is someone that I would really like to work with, because you need to know the person before like being able to work with. Like I have a couple of friends that I would not mind at all work for them on them working for me, but outside of that, there is no one that I really admire from outside, because I don't know. Like sometimes you just discover they are complete fraud, and it's not worth it to work for them, even though like they won world championships and so on.
Okay, okay. And what advice? So this question for me is in two segments. No, so what advice? One advice, the most important advice for, in your opinion, would you give to players, and what advice would you give to coaches in the League of Legends scene?
To players, I will say you need to figure your shit together. Like, what I mean by that, it is that 90% of the players just don't understand what being a professional means. You need to take this as a job and not just playing for fun, spamming 50 games. You need to play games, review them, learn what went wrong, and try to reflect on what how you can like get better. You can steal from others, you can learn from better players, you can see what they do and try to like develop your play style step by step. For coaches, I mean, it's kind of the same stuff, in the sense that you need to realize this is an art job, and that you knowing some little tricks around drafting or listening to like other content creators, that's not being a coach. Being a coach, it is like developing yourself as a person and understanding that you need to manage the team to build successfully. Like most of the coaches, especially in League of Legends, takes drafting as their main skill. That's bullshit. Like what you need to be able to do, it is develop your player and get them a better person. Like after they work with you, they need to be better than they were before. If they were the same or worse, you failed.
Nice. One of the top interviews I had with a coach. So I really appreciate your time here, man. Davide Sotze. We will stay in touch for sure, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.